been happening as long as young people have been going to school. It's the coming of age. It's about being a student, being proud, and showing it. And for the last 60 years, there's one way that young people around the world have shown that moment of pride. The eisek card. And it all began when Europe was rebuilding bridges following the Second World War. Student organizations were formed to activate the peace-building potential of a traveling younger generation, promoting intercultural understanding. And it was at the International Student Conference of 1953, attended by 51 student organizations, that the Norwegian and Dutch delegations took the step towards an idea that was as simple as it was profound. A student identity document allowing access to international student services. A simple beginning with high ideals, created by and for students. The first actual eisek cards were produced and distributed in 1955, and the early years showed the vitality of a powerful idea. As travel was found to open students' minds, help understand other cultures, and gain practical knowledge, the travel function of the card was soon recognized as central. And soon, major airlines signed up to provide exclusive student discounts for eisek cardholders. Early results demonstrated the satisfaction of students, schools, and sponsoring organizations alike. By the mid-1960s, over 2 million cards had been issued within 33 different countries. With the eisek card, bridges were indeed being built. The majority of issued cards were in European countries, but that would soon change. As the world was taking early economic steps toward globalization, the eisek card was poised to take a quantum leap, to truly go global. All that was needed was a catalyst.
Hi, I'm Darina.
I'm Caio. I'm Marcelo.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Mariana.
I'm Juana.
Nanette, and I am a student.
I am Arthur Gillette, former director of UNESCO's Division of Youth and Sports Activities. So at that time, in the 1960s, we were trying to encourage concrete initiatives to facilitate exchange of students traveling abroad from their own country, if possible, to another part of the world, the other side of the world. And eisek seemed, with its card proposal, seemed a wonderful tool to facilitate and accelerate such exchanges. So when eisek came to UNESCO, I was very favorable to it and did what I could to help promote it. When we began, eisek was pretty much a European organization. UNESCO was a world organization. And I think that field of vision helped eisek, to some extent at least, to open doors beyond the European horizon. eisek got recognition and a kind of acceptance from an intergovernmental organization that in those days, and to some extent still today, was pretty rare. In return for that, what pleased us was to see the UNESCO logo, that temple, on the card. This gave us visibility that we didn't have very much before. Getting UNESCO on the ground, visible to students. And I think that mutual relationship was beneficial to both sides, and still is.
After the valuable UNESCO endorsement in 1968, the 1970s and 1980s brought a steady expansion in the number of issuing countries, as well as eisek card benefits. New inroads were being made into East and South Asia, Latin America, and Eastern Europe. As eisek's geography was expanding, so were the educational and travel opportunities for students that the card gave access to. And with a global coverage came global benefits. The eisek of the 1990s was defined by laying a foundation to a digital future. eisek evolved with technology, switching from paper to the plastic credit card-sized card with magnetic strip, opening up graphic and photo opportunities to enhance security, functionality and branding. New partnerships and endorsements were forged, resulting in a dramatic increase in the number of issued cards. The eisek card also began strengthening relationships with universities and schools to merge their existing student cards with an eisek card. As the eisek was evolving into the new millennium, so too was the student experience. In the last decade, a new international student attitude and lifestyle has been born. And moving with the trend, the eisek card transformed from a travel-oriented student identity card into a student identity card for daily use. From discounts on travel, books and software, to chip-based local transport and communications. Anything that matters in the day-to-day life of the modern student. And accordingly, the last decade has been an era of expanding global partnerships.
To me, studying means learning about different cultures,
to meet new people,
and grow up to be a good person.
It's a new adventure.
I am Stephen Duggan. I am Director of Worldwide Education Strategy for Microsoft. I think it's clear that an eisek card has huge benefits for students just from an identity point of view. So we work continually with eisek to understand what it is students want from us and how we can deliver those services to them in more effective ways. True partnerships are mutually beneficial. I think there's an awareness, both on the eisek side and on the Microsoft side, that there's a lot that we can bring to each other. And we've signed what is called an Education Alliance Agreement. It's not a contract. There are no set objectives or goals or measurements. What there is an agreement to work together on areas we've identified that are of joint concern. And I think that's really important to building a healthy partnership and one that can evolve with time. But I don't think eisek in 10 years will look in any way like the organisation as it does now. I think some of the key values will be retained. There will always be a compelling reason for a student, as I was, to become a student member of eisek. There will always be benefits clearly established in the minds of students as to why they would go and take that step or pay that yearly membership. But the services themselves, we can only conjecture. eisek is the only organisation on the planet who represents students, who can deliver that direct access to what students want and help bring their voice into the design of what we do as a company. We believe that our partnership with eisek is going to go from strength to strength. I think there is a real commitment on both sides to doing what is right and what is appropriate for students, to ensure that they remain at the centre of all of our activities as a partnership. And I'm really excited about that. I'm very positive. I'm more than hopeful that in 10 years from now, we'll be talking about the benefits that those students have enjoyed as a direct result of this partnership. So I'm a school teacher by profession and also by vocation. And I've been fortunate in that I've always worked in education. I think what really excites me right now is that actually we're at a tipping point of change. Students now aren't waiting to be told what to do. They are the decision maker. They are the people who can guide and control their own futures. And I think the changes we're going to see in that area with new modalities such as blended learning environments, massive open online curricula and so on are going to bring about a transformation. That's an exciting place to be. And I think eisek as well are very much at the centre of that change.
Looking back, the world has come an amazing distance in 60 years. And so has the eisek card. Since its creation in 1953, over 105 million eisek cards have been issued in over 125 countries. What started as an idea has grown to be a global community that exists to fulfill the everyday demands of the student.
I am Matt East. I'm the chairman of the board of the eisek Association. The eisek was created by a group of European student unions that wanted to have a product that would help facilitate cross-border cultural understanding by these student groups. It was very travel related. Fast forward 60 years and we have a very unique product which is now used by student groups all over the world and individual students to access benefits and value internationally, nationally, regionally and locally. There are a lot of things that are still pipelined, which are very exciting, and I think they're going to be very exciting for the eisek Association, for our benefit partners, and also, of course, for the student community. The first is a wider distribution of the eisek to every corner of the planet, as far as we're concerned. The second part of this, which is most definitely going to play a role in the first part, is the technological advancement of the eisek, called the eisek Cloud. The eisek Cloud is going to basically be the virtualization and digitalization of the eisek and allow those students to be able to access benefits and information anytime, anywhere. It won't be just confined to the piece of plastic that we know today, but the future will be, as a student, being able to access your eisek profile through your handset, your telephone, or through your workstation, or whatever the case might be. So if we look back, we started off as a big piece of paper with a photograph and stickers and stamps and all sorts of things on it verifying student status. And today we're in a convenient little piece of plastic that does exactly the same thing. How that's going to look tomorrow, who knows? But for sure it's going to fulfill the same purpose.
When you have done something, you remember it. It shapes your ideas, it shapes your aspirations, and ultimately changes you as a person.
Students now aren't waiting to be told what to do. They are the decision maker. They are the people who can guide and control their own futures.
It's going to remain the only globally accepted and legitimate form of student status verification in the world, like it has done for the last 60 years.